The tide has changed, obviously, because more and more people out there, within the left, within the media, politicians are willing to confront Israel and Zionism and say enough is enough. 10 years ago, it was almost impossible to say a thing about the plight of the Palestinian people. And the tide has changed. Things are different now.
Well, I'm pleased to say that joining me now here in our London studio is Gilad Atzmon. Gilad, welcome to Remember Palestine.
I'm very happy to be here.
Now, people know you as a well-known saxophonist, a very talented composer for your instrument, but what many people don't know, because you're so active for Palestinian issues, is that you're actually born in Israel. What was it like for you personally growing up there?
You'll be surprised to hear it. I really loved it, and I really believed in the Zionist cause. I really believed in everything they told us about us being a revival project, the rebirth of the biblical Jewish identity. I was even looking forward to go to the army. I planned to become a commander, and so on and so on and so on. And then I started to realize that I was slightly deluded.
Was there something that happened that made you see what was happening across the non-border in Palestine?
A lot of it, I joined the army in '81, and in '82 was the first Lebanon war. And there in Lebanon, at the early stage of the war, I still had a fantasy to become an Israeli warrior. I then realized quite soon after that I better find my way to the orchestra. But I had a chance to be in Lebanon and to see so many refugees. One of the most devastating things that I've ever seen, I was already a musician at the time, was actually in '84. We were playing a concert for soldiers in Ansar. Ansar was basically a POW camp, but they didn't define them as a POW. And what I saw there made me really realize that I was fighting I'm fighting with the very wrong army. I'm obedient to the very wrong state. And this was more or less for me the end of my love affair with Israel and Zionism. I still didn't know much then about Palestine, about Palestinians, about the Palestinian plight. We were led by very, very misleading information about the Nakba, about '48. We were told the Palestinian...
So obviously, even having studied there, you weren't sure what was going on with the people who weren't Israelis as you then were. But you studied there, and then you decided to leave in 1994. What happened in your life after that to make you not want to go back? You've been touring.
Yeah, I came here actually in '94 with a clear attempt to become an academic. I studied philosophy, and I very soon after I landed here, I became a very popular musician. I decided to leave Israel in '94 because I realized that the Oslo agreement or the Oslo Accord was very misleading again, that it was dismissing the Palestinian cause, the right of return, which is
But
a crucial right.
what's lovely about your music is you've been able to bring that feeling about distrust of politics into your music. Let's talk a little bit about some of the artists that you've worked with, because you have a group of artists and you've just released your new album. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think that the most important artists I worked with that are not in my band are probably Ian Dury, whom I learned a lot from. He was great. He was great. And Robet Wyatt, and to a certain extent, they're very similar.
Now,
they're wordsmiths.
So for people who don't know Robet Wyatt, a famous jazz musician himself.
Robet Wyatt was originally the soft machine drummer. But then at a certain stage in his life, he really developed his own career, and he has managed to develop a very, very unique style of music. He's very, very influential for almost every young musician I can think of.
Gilad, we're a little bit short on time now. Can we talk a little bit about you and Robet and what you're doing in London? It's a Jazza Festival that's coming up. Why are you doing it and what is it?
We decided a while back that we have to make sure that the support of Palestine, which I think is very broad support, is now taking a new phase. As an Israeli, as a Jew, I remember all those artists who rallied for Israel. We were very proud of them, and I think that now the tide has changed. This is the name of my album. I think that now more and more people understand what Israel is all about, what Zionism is all about, and what I want to see is many artists and many people joining us on the 12th and 13th of October here in London, coming to listen to music that is played for Palestine, for the Palestinian cause. I think that this is crucial. I think that we are already a mass movement, and we have to make sure that everybody see it and take it on board.
And of course people can go to the website. There's the Jazza Festival website. You can look it up and find tickets there. Gilad Atzmon, thank you very much for coming on to Remember Palestine. Well, there is a tidal wave of rap talent emerging from the cities, towns and refugee camps across occupied Palestine. Hip-hop artists like Stormtrap express resistance to Israel's occupation in their